Hello people and welcome to this new class in where we are gonna see a very useful tool as it is the text wrap. You can find this tool going over Window Text Wrap. Let's isolate this floating panel. And then, as usual, the thumbnails are very clear, giving us the perfect clue about what is gonna happen. Furthermore, if we hover over the drawing, we have a little label explaining perfectly what the tool does. Summing up, this tool allows us to control how the text interacts with objects, images, or shapes in our layout. It will allow us to create layouts in where our text flows seamlessly around visuals. I will show you, and for this class I will support myself with placeholder text. So text tool, click and drag, right click, fill with placeholder text. This could be a regular page of our layout. Then let's start using a rectangle as an object. This object will be placed in the middle of our page. Fill magenta, stroke none. Here we have our rectangle, and then we can see how the first option is the one on right now. So the text is flowing over the object without wrapping. But what happens if we click the second option? The description says wrap around bounding box. I hit it, and then we can see how the text wraps around the bounding box. To be more precise, we can use the offset values. We have top offset, we have bottom offset, left offset, and right offset. We can constrain all these values clicking this chain. Let's do it, and then I will increase the offset so we can see how the text is flowing around the bounding box. Let's check now the third option. The description says wrap around object shape. If I hit it, there is no difference with the previous tool. And the reason is because in this case, the bounding frame is the same as the shape itself. So let's use another shape. For instance, an ellipse or a cycle. Shortcut L key. Then I click and drag. I hold down Shift key to draw a perfect cycle and I release. Let's use the eyedropper tool to get these color properties. Then selection tool, V key. My circle is already selected. And then it's high time to hit the third tool, wrap around object shape. One click. Let's increase the offset. And now you can check how the text is flowing around the shape of the object, not around the bounding box, which is still a square. I'm going to place these elements above and in the middle using the intelligent guides. I will make a copy of the circle and let's hit the next option, jump object. One click on here. And as you can see in the thumbnail, text is jumping the object entirely and continue below it. I will make this cycle smaller so we can see how it works more clear. Next option is called Jump to Next Column. To show you how this tool works, I will create a new page. So let's go over Pages, Create New Page. Then again, Text tool, one click and drag. I use the margins of the page. Right click, fill with placeholder text, and then Control B. I open the text frame options and I increase the number of columns here. I can even preview by clicking this little box. Okay, now this new page has two columns. I will take this rectangle using Ctrl C and then Ctrl V, and I will place it in this first column, and I will do it smaller proportionally, more or less like this. In this example, this element is just an object with a color, but it could be an image as well. And then let's click this last option, jump to next column. We can see how the text stops when it touches the offset of our object, but it continues flowing in the next column. Finally, we have this little box, Invert. Let's go over this first page. Then if I select this cycle and I click Invert, what happened is a little bit confused. But if I delete the fill, then we can see how the text placed outside now is inside our shape. We are inverting the position of the text from outside to inside our shape. In my experience, this option is rarely used, so let's turn it off, magenta fill again, and then let's go to this another subtitle, wrap options. If I expand this menu, we can wrap to right side, left side, both right and left sides, side towards spine, side away from spine, largest area. If I click right side, we can see how the text flows just around the right side. Left side is doing the opposite, and both right and left sides are the most common option used. Left options are rarely used again, but just take in mind that they exist. Finally, down here we can read Cantor options. In order to activate it, we should work with images. So let's do it using this first rectangle. Once selected, Ctrl D. Here we have two images. One raven, which is a JPG image, which means that it has a white background, and the other one is a PNG image with transparent background. Transparent things means alpha channel. So this image has an alpha channel. Let's use it. Open, then right click, fitting, fit content proportionally. Ctrl Alt Shift E. You have to memorize that shortcut. Then let's delete the magenta fill, none. And then let's explore the different Cantor options. I expand this menu, now it is active, as you can see. And then the first one is called bounding box. I will reduce to 0 the offset so you can see more clear what is going on. The bounding box is referring to the Cantor of the image, and the text is wrapping that bounding box. Next option is called Detect Edges. Then, as far as we have a PNG image with a transparent background, InDesign is detecting the edges of the raven and the text is wrapping that raven shape. Furthermore, we can include an offset and make our layout more attractive, right? Next option is called Alpha Channel. This is another way to detect the edges of the main shape, in this case the raven. We have one alpha channel, and then again we can increase the offset. The idea is the same as before. Next option, Photoshop path. This option uses a Photoshop path saved before in Photoshop. Rarely used, you can forget about it. Next option, graphic frame. The graphic frame, as you can see on the image, is referring to the main box in where the image is placed. Let's reduce the offset so we can see it better. We are talking here about the original rectangle. Next option, same as clipping. The clipping frame is the frame of the image, and then the text is flowing around it. Then we have another option called user modified path. We can skip this option because it is never used. And then last option is called select subject. This option again is detecting the edges of the main shape, in this case the raven. We should increase a little bit the offset. Once we are happy with the result, selection tool, one click outside. So these are all the options on this panel, on the text wrap floating panel. I hope you have enjoyed the class, and I will see you in the next episode.